And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Beyond the 90. We've got a preview for once. I mean, I've finally got some time to do a preview. The games are becoming so thick and fast, and we've got very, very special guests with us. We've got Chris from LeicesterTilIDie. Chris, first of all, how are you, and how are you feeling about this game?
You know what? I was nervous, but I want to enjoy it. I mean, I'm 61 this year, and what I have seen Leicester do in the last 10 odd years is what I never ever thought I would see Leicester do. And I thought, yeah, we've won the Premier League, we've won the FA Cup. What I mean, it's the semi-final of a European competition. And I don't care what they say, Arsenal fans would love to be us right now. Man United fans would love to be us right now. I just want to enjoy it. Obviously, I'll enjoy it more if we win. But we've gone one stage further than we did in the Champions League. And yeah, it's the conference, but so what? It's a European competition.
Do you know what? You're right. And I think that was me coming into this when you were looking at Randers and blah, blah, blah. And then now, I mean, you look at the running that we had and you look at the teams that we've faced. And in terms of obviously Randers are probably the only exception to that rule where I'm like, who? Where? Oh, right. Yes. Okay, horses. And then, so that was what I expect from the competition. Then realizing Rennes, PSV, now Roma. We a lot of people were thinking we're going to face them in the finals. And having a word with a Chelsea fan, obviously with the Mourinho link, and he was going, actually, that might be a good one to watch because that's going to be a good semi-final. So I thought, that was interesting. But coming into this, I mean, we're just going to go through the press conference. We're going to look through some of the tactics. We look off Mourinho, who knows Leicester City very well, managing 3 different teams against our teams as well.
And I think we got him sacked from 2, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. Did we get him sacked from...
Well, definitely Chelsea.
Chelsea was for sure. Man United?
Yeah. And was it? We may well. I think it could have been Man United. Yeah. Well, we didn't get him sacked from Tottenham. I must have. We didn't do that one. I'm sure people have been telling me to. So
fair enough.
Fair enough. What one would do me? One would do me.
No worries. Good evening to Ethan as well. Hopefully you're doing well as well. I know it's a good evening for the Villarreal person as well. So for the Villarreal manager as well. But apart from that, let's get straight into it. So first thing we look at is just some of the press conference that Brendan Rodgers has come out. He's come out and said it's a fantastic occasions. Supporters can get over the line to generate the intensity and energy, and the crowd will feel that. I mean, what was the one that for me that stood out massively was when, even in the Aston Villa game, I don't know if you realised when you were at home, Chris, but the crowd when Jamie Vardy came on lifted the entire stadium, and you could hear it, and it was a fantastic thing. But I think Leicester fans are still going, this is a European night, it's semi-final, we've got big boys coming to town, we're going to enjoy this, and we're going to get behind the players as well.
Oh yes, yeah. I mean, once that music starts and they walk out on the pitch and they line up, they'll get behind them. But it might be a bit quiet at times, depending how the game goes. But they'll get behind the team. I mean, you look at the quarterfinals. Every team that's in the quarterfinals, with the exception of Blood Glimt, I love saying that, have been in the Champions League in the not too distant past. So, people have been poo-pooing this, and I don't like when Manchester United nearly won the Europa League because they'd failed at the Champions League. I don't like that. So I don't like the fact that we've gone down. But that's the rules. We're in it. So we've nothing we can do about that. And we've got to remember that Roma only made it to this stage by going into the conference. They didn't get any higher. So I'm a bit worried that, and I've fallen into this a little bit, that I've got in my mind that we're playing the Roma of years ago and they were a big name and we're winning things. And it's not, the Roma now is completely different.
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted by something. I was just getting a new tab up. They are completely different. However, they are still a big giant in football as well. So they're going to be bringing their presence. They're going to be a good team we're going to play against. So long may it continue. And again, one of the managers that we know, we're just speaking on Mourinho now, to bring it back to him. I was trying to get an AS Roma fan on. I couldn't find any. Not that there's not any. I'm not that well connected. So we'll put the message out. Nothing happened. No problem. But from what we hear from, I'm going off BBC Radio Leicester as well. So when there was BBC Radio Leicester, had the Roma correspondent or the Italian correspondent on talking about Roma, and they play in that very similar sort of way. Mourinho works. They're not vying for the top positions. However, they're getting like 5th, 6th position. They see the Europa League as their league, and what they want to achieve in the same thing. Mourinho will be there to frustrate us, but I think it's up to us to go and prove ourselves in this game and go on the front foot from minute one, in my opinion, and go and push them as much as we can.
Definitely 100%. But it's exactly what we said against Eindhoven. And that didn't quite work out. I mean, it's, you know what this season's been like for Leicester. It's been so up or down. And, you know, I keep thinking we're getting this, you know, our mojo back, and we've got all the players back now. And then we do the performance like we did against Villa. But hopefully the players are going to be up for this. You know, hopefully, you know, that they'll realise what. I mean, if I go back to, and I don't really want to, but if I go back to the Nottingham Forest FA Cup game, you know, that they didn't seem to be up for that. It was almost like that. The foreign players didn't really appreciate what it meant to us. But it's a semi-final. Like I said, that music. If you can't get up for this game, then there's something wrong with you.
Exactly, and that's the thing, and they've been up for it in the past, so now we just got to go into it and go for Leicester City as well. We've got to go for this performance. See, Doug's in the chat. Yeah. Hello, Doug. Best of luck tomorrow. Lovely to see you, my friend. Best of luck in the. I think you're playing today as well against Valencia, so best of luck with that.
In some minor European Cup they're in. I don't know what it is.
Champions League. Who's heard of it?
Yeah,
the Conference League's been around for years.
Yeah.
But yes, again, it is going to be a tough tactical battle, I think, as well. Just in terms of injuries, I've been looking at the injury bench. It looks like we've pretty much got a lot of players, barring 2 players. Everybody's available for this. The only 2 out are Bertrand, who's out for the season, and also Ndidi. So looking at them, too, obviously we've got everybody fit. We'll do a little bit of a preview, but do you know what? We've had so many times, Chris. We've gone, okay, one player's gone, one player's out with COVID, one player's out with an injury. Now we're starting to see, again, we've got a lot of games coming up, and we're starting to rotate the squad, which is great because it saves on injuries as well. And we'll get onto a couple of players that potentially have played so many games as well. But we've got 2 squads, and we can kind of rotate between the 2 of them to reduce injuries. But, I mean, it's just great to have a squad back that's, well, you've got more than 1 player per position, which is exactly what we want.
You know, I looked at the Villa was the most recent game, but when you look at it, and you looked at that bench, and you thought that is a bench that probably teams like Norwich, Watford, Burnley would love to have.
What we would have loved to have 5 years ago coming into the Premier League.
Exactly. I mean, did you know? I'd forgotten we'd got as many centre backs as we have. I mean, we had 2 for one game, and the next game we got 4 centre backs. All right, 5 if you include Vestergaard, of course. But you know, I didn't.
That's exactly my point. That's what I'm going to go for. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't realise. I'd forgotten we'd got that many centre backs. But it's great to finally be in this position. The performances haven't always come. You know, we haven't. I mean, we were joked before. You know, we could do with a few AFCON referees in our league at the moment. But you know, that's annoying. But it's just good to see them back. And the more games that they play when they're back, obviously, hopefully, the better it will be. But I am worried about a few players getting a bit, well, not getting a bit tired, they're starting to look very tired.
Yeah, they're starting to look, exactly, starting to look tired. And then players in particular, Chris, I know the 2 you're going to, well, how many are you going to mention? But there's pretty much, for me, it's the midfield, but I can imagine you're going to think about the same people. So Maddison, KDH, and Yuri Tillemans. And that's the 3 that, in my opinion, that will start this game. However, we've seen with the likes of Harvey Barnes, James Justin, when you play these players over and over again and you overexert them, we've seen with ping, big injury comes. I just don't want that to happen. So I'd rather them play in this game than take the rest on Sunday.
Well, I've been surprised because he's changed like I say, the defence and certainly the 2 centre backs. He's not been afraid to change them. Now, if he'd have dropped any of those 3, if not all 3 of them, for the Villa game, I think as fans would have all gone, yeah, I get that, because we've got the big Roma game coming up. But he didn't, and they are looking so tired. I mean, Tielemans is a bit being played out of position a bit, but I don't know, KDH is young, but my God, you know, we can see it as fans. And I'm thinking, like, and I mean, I've always been Brendan in, as you know, I criticise him, but I've always been Brendan in. But rest them for the Tottenham game, and so rest them for the Aston Villa game. We're not any dreams I had of making Europe from the league again this season, which I thought there might be an outside chance of, went with the Newcastle game.
Yeah,
you know, that once that happened, that we got no chance. So people are going to maybe accuse him of prioritising the conference. So what? Of course he's going to. You know, it's our best way of getting back into Europe. I don't know why he's not resting these players. And yes, they're going to start against Roma, and they'll probably start them against Spurs. I mean, if he didn't start it tomorrow against Roma, he would get an ear bashing off the fans. He really would. But if he didn't do it, I say, if he'd not done it against Villa or Newcastle, rested them for that, then the fans would have gone, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, no, they would have. And this is the thing. It might have been the Roma game, the Aston Villa game, a lot more bearable, knowing that we've rotated a lot more players. But then you think about the Everton game, and you just roll your eyes. But for me, it was a roll my eyes moment because, the less said about that, the better. Yeah,
thanks for reminding me. I've forgotten about that one.
No worries. That's what we're here for, Chris. Remind you of the bad time. Yeah.
Again, we'll book another session in with my therapist.
Exactly. That's the thing is, I've said this with a few people that have come on here. I've always said we treat this as the therapy session. We get it all out on the camera, and then you go, what? And then you just kind of move on, because otherwise you can't let that ruin your day and your week. The one that did was the Nottingham Forest game. That ruined me for a few days. But again, getting that over with. I think again, I don't know about you, but I've not watched. I tend to focus on the league that Leicester are in. I don't tend to watch too much like European football, but I know kind of the Italian tactics and things like that as well. Yeah, me neither. So I just tend to watch Leicester.
We've seen. I mean, we saw Italy in the Euros, obviously. I'm actually starting a show next Monday, which is weekly show. It's going to be concentrating on Germany, Italy, France, and Spanish leagues. But I know nothing, but I'm getting a couple of people on that know a lot, so I don't look so stupid. But I don't care who we're playing now. It's a semi-final. If they're in the semi-final, whether they're if Blog Glimt had got through at this stage, we couldn't take it lightly. We all remember, well, I'm certainly do because I'm old enough, remember Wycombe Wanderers. You know, it was the quarterfinals. So I would love Wycombe Wanderers at home. We got Wycombe Wanderers at home, and look what happened. They beat us with the guy they got off bloody CFAX. And Blog Glimt, we'd have been playing them above the Arctic Circle. It would have been pretty freezing on a plastic pitch. So I'd sooner have I'm glad we're playing Roma. But whoever's at this stage, whatever league they're from, you've got to give them respect.
Exactly. And it could have been an issue. Actually, we might turn up more against Roma, because if they were Bodo Glimt, they're going, we're on the beach, no problem, lads. We've got this, no problem. Kind of as Roma, as we did to Randers away, where we kind of sat back a little bit more, invited too much pressure. We got this. When realistically, they were coming onto us. They had more chances than we did. So, look,
but
we're through now.
4 games that Blog Glimt and Roma played, they beat them twice. But yeah, I agree. I think and I think the players will be up for Roma more, hopefully, as well.
Let's hope so. Again, I've something that somebody out. I mean, one point I was going to mention. Ethan, you beat it to me. Boubakary Soumaré is back. He's back from, I don't know, a mixture of injuries, and I think he had some family troubles or something. He had some mental problem, which I'm hoping that's all okay, and he's back at the moment. But he's back in the squad again, so he's one of those we mentioned that no more injuries, but potentially Yuri can advance more as well. However, in that midfield, I think it's hard to come by. We'll do a little bit of formation, but I think the midfield is kind of an area that I think for Sundays, for the game, he's fit for Sunday. Oh, he's fit for Sunday, not fit for Thursday. But in that midfield position, we are going to, because obviously Mendy can't play. Would it be Hamza's time to shine, or are we just going to go gung ho and just go for it and play Tielemans as a CDM? Because I don't think we get the best out of him if we're there.
No, not at all. And people have been saying on my channel that, you know, let him go. He's rubbish. He's not, you know, going to win a game. And against Villa, I had to double check he was still on the pitch. But it's the role he's been asked to play. And I think it was Brad said to me, when he's putting I mean, I like Mendy. I mean, we've got to remember, Mendy at one point when we signed him was our most expensive purchase ever. And he did, at the start of last season, when indeed he was injured, he did well, you know. All right, indeed he's the better tackler, but I honestly think, you know, Mendy's the better distributor of the ball.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. But if you're putting the player in, don't bring Tielemans back to help him out. You know, he doesn't need that help. And it restricts Tielemans because he's an attacking midfielder. You know, if he'd been playing that role in the cup final, he probably wouldn't have got the goal. But Chowdhury, I never used to be sure about Chowdhury, but he's got that fiery side seems to have gone out of him. You know, he's not so likely to get a red card. At one point, whenever he came on, he looked like he was going to get a red card. Why not? You know, he was put in against Liverpool in a defensive position, which isn't his natural position. We beat them 1-0. It was like, you know, Custer's last stand. They were throwing everything at us, and he held firm. And he came off there, and Rodgers absolutely praised Chowdhury to the hilt. We've not seen him since. I mean, I just don't get it. Yes, put Chowdhury in. I'm quite happy for Chowdhury to start in that defensive midfield role. I don't think he will.
Yeah.
It's depending how fit Soumare is. I don't know whether he will be back. The problem you've got for me with these players that we sign, you can for Fofana, you throw him in at the deep end and he swam. Boy, did he swim! You know, Daka's finding it a little bit harder to settle in, and maybe Soumare is. I mean, it's a different country, it's a different league, it's a different way of playing. They've all got to fit in. I know what it's like when I've moved from one town to another in this country. It takes a while to get used to everything. But for me, because he's fit and, you know, he's not coming back from fitness, I would definitely put Chowdhury in.
Yeah, me too. Again, apologies if my internet's cutting out. It was fine before we started, and now it's decided it's going to go and basically look at its frame rate of about 3 frames a second, which I'm really annoyed about. Anyway,
you are looking a bit fuzzy.
Yeah, it was fine before we started. Now all of a sudden it's gone. Right. We'll bring up the form again. I've got some things at the moment. So I've got. Let me just try and bring it up. This one as well. Share screen. So we've got some players. Oh, is that appearing over the top? No, it's not. I've got a Google Chrome would like to record this computer. Right, let's just ignore this screen. 1 second. There's all sorts of problems going wrong now. So we'd both agree that Hamza Chowdhury would come into this position. So we put Chowdhury in because again, he's the only real. The thing is, I think Soumare is more of a KDH kind of role where he's everywhere. Have I spelled it wrong? There we go.
I had the same problem last night when I did mine. Half the players weren't coming up.
My spelling is of a 5-year-old. I think that's part of the problem as well. Yeah. So I think one thing as well we need to mention, I think Maddison, getting him in this cam role, again, I put Vardy up top because, I mean, I don't think we're going to argue about this, are we, Chris?
No, I think you're going to start. I just hope we're not expecting because he's starting that we're going to win 5-0. Yeah, because we're not. He's gonna, it's his first game back. I just hope he takes it sensibly, and maybe Rodgers takes him off after 60. If we're in the position to.
He did mention in the press conference again. That was something I was going to bring up before my internet decided to go. He goes, if he asks, because Jamie Vardy's fitness, he's set to be in the squad to face Roma. Asked if he could play full 90 minutes. He said, "I'm not so sure." Yeah. So that's probably less than likely, but he's probably going to play the majority of minutes, let's say, as a striker. But
I think if he didn't put him in again when he's fit and he doesn't put Vardy in, you'd be questioning it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you're right, especially with the other players in. Daka, I think he's a one for the future. I just don't think he's really that player at the moment. But again, one player that we're going to talk about, James Maddison. I think it's in. I've kind of put this in because I think he's one of the first names on the team sheet. But he, as long as he plays in this number 10 role, which he wasn't against Villa, that's where we want to see him. And just the telepathy he's got with Vardy and just knows where he is at all times. I think that is what we need to win this game against a very strong Mourinho Roma defense.
It's very reminiscent of the Mahrez Vardy relationship.
Yes,
like you said, it does click, and we seem to have a problem with those, the right and left sided, wingers. And Maddison, when he's put him out on that side, it doesn't work. He needs to be in the middle, almost, if you like, given a bit of a free role to sort of move about and go where he wants and confuse the defenders. Well, he was over there a minute ago, whatever. So yeah, he's got to be in the centre, 100%.
Definitely agree there. And then, so the question is, I've gone for Fofana and Evans. I don't think, and Schmeichel. I don't think there's any issue there, or if any disagreements
I was thinking Jukovic.
Jukovic.
Yeah, why not? I'm joking.
Well, as a centre back instead of Vestergaard, potentially. No. So okay, on the right. So I've put players that I thought would. So Schmeichel, Fofana, Evans, and then on the right and the left. Again, Ethan in the comments has put Castagna and James Justin for his 2. Who would you go with in this?
No, I when I did mine yesterday, Brad was he picked the team. I let him have free reign in what he wanted, and he put James Justin on the left and Ricardo on the right. To be honest with you, would go Castagna on the left and Ricardo on the right.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. They're the best. They're that bit older, and that's no disrespect to JJ, a fantastic player, and Thomas. He scored in Europe. He's a fantastic player. This is the biggest team we've played since Atletico Madrid in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We want our best players out there. It's no good. It's no good spending a fortune on a player and then him not playing, if you like. So I'd have that every day of the week for a game like this.
Totally agree, and I'm with you on the 2 centre backs. So the 2 full backs. One of the reasons why as well, Ricardo, like he did against in the last round against PSV, that winning goal, he's got that, and we've seen it as well with JJ. But to break down a Roma defense on that right hand side, we've not got a player that's a player that's going to unlock and take it across. Yeah. Ricardo gives you that person that can break the lines, that can go and drive into the middle and get in goal scoring opportunities. And we've seen this season, Chris, I think you would agree, on that right hand side is where we've looked the weakest. So having him as an option is going to just having him in that team is going to give you that extra spark throughout the 90 minutes.
Sometimes, in some games, it looks like we haven't got a right side because everything is going down the left. And don't get me wrong, I mean, when you've got sort of Thomas, KDH, and Barnes down that left-hand side, sometimes it's like watching Brazil. They're amazing. But when Roma look at that, if that's the team that comes out, they'll look at that thinking, Castagna and Ricardo, they can score goals from those positions. Well, not, when they move forward. And they're going to have to sort of kind of mark them. And I think what they will do is keep the Roma wingers busy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where, because their strike forces start. Somebody's put in there, David's put, hi, David. Ricardo has to start. I think the majority of fans, I would say, would agree. And Turf Morehouse in the building. How you doing, mate? It's been a while since I've seen you on, but
Dan the Burnley man.
Dan the Burnley man. Awesome.
How you doing, mate?
Let's hope we can go and get the win for that one. That'll be great.
Cheers,
Dan. Thanks, Dan, for that. Moving into here, this is where it gets tough. So I've gone for like a 4-2-3-1/4-1-4-1 because there are things Vardy's playing up there on his own. The 4-2-3-1 leaves the players very wide, but I mean, we've got Tielemans and KDH and things like that. How would you? Well, I assume that's who you'd put in, or is there anybody else you'd put in as well? Because how do you get them all in the team?
This is it. I mean, in my dreams, it might actually consider putting two up front, because we know that how that ended last season. But this is Brendan. We know he doesn't like that, formation through choice. It is, and it's a great position to be in, that we're looking at this thinking, yeah, how do we fit this player in? And it's a great position to be in. You've got to have Tielemans in there without a shadow of a doubt. Again, it's the biggest game we've got. Tired or not, if it doesn't work out, bring him off. We've got, is it five subs were allowed in this game?
5 substitutes, yeah.
Yeah. So we're allowed the subs. We know we're gonna have a strong bench. Stick him on in that more attacking role. And if you got Maddison, Tielemans like that, I mean, my God, it'll strike the fear into most defenses, and they swapping positions and go, that would be just a dream. I mean, Chowdhury, bless him, I wish we had Mendy available, but we don't. But he's only going to get better when he gets the chances. But yeah, I mean, it's looking a solid team so far.
I think so. I think it's a really solid team. The question is, the left mid, but then Kieran Dewsbury-Hall on the right. I mean, that's the only person I can think that would, to get him in the team, that's the only place you can go otherwise.
It is, because on the left there, I would fancy Lookman.
Ah, really?
Yeah. And because I think he's more natural on the left, it's his preferred position.
On the left or the right?
On the left, yeah. We tend to play him on the right because we've got Barnes on the left.
Yeah.
So, don't get me wrong. If we don't sign this guy, I think there's something mentally wrong with Brendan. I mean, 15. We paid 15 million for Vestergaard. This guy's supposed to be 15 million. You know what I mean? And
exactly. We paid 12 million for Ghazal not that long ago.
Yeah. I mean, when he was at Fulham, he was their player of the season until he got injured. He does like going down that left-hand side. That's where I think he's got most of his goals from, is that side of the pitch. And I'm just not. You've got to love Dewsbury-Hall. Let's face it, he's never played out on the wing, has he? I can't remember if he's played on the wing in the past.
I mean, this is a formation we've played, but we've played more of like a kind of diamond, and then played Lookman up top with Vardy. But with Dewsbury-Hall, he kind of, as you were saying with Maddison has more of that middle pivotal 10 role. And then you've got Dewsbury-Hall. It's kind of like, I go wherever I want and chase down the ball. Sometimes he's playing all the way up with the strikers. Sometimes he's chasing back and playing double pivot with Chowdhury or Tielemans. So he plays. So these players, it's not like they've got a fixed role. Do you see what I mean? So with what it allows us to do,
players that can play in multi positions. We know that. Look at Castagna. He can play left or right. Lookman can play left or right. I mean, Dewsbury-Hall has got the speed, so why not put him there and let him run at the defenders and see what he can do? My worry for that is if Ricardo goes forward, he does all right in defending, doesn't he, Dewsbury-Hall? So, and Barnes isn't in there, but he hasn't looked good these last few games.
No,
I think when he came on for Lookman, I wasn't. He looked like he was, running in cement. And when he has started, he's gone off for Lookman. And I think you maybe again bring him on later. But to me, many a Premier League club would like to have that lineup.
Sorry, Chris. I don't know if my internet has just decided to freeze.
No, you're working away.
Okay, no problem. Sorry, it just completely cut out for a second there. Apologies. But yeah, no, I agree with what I heard of the 3 words in the Matrix that it was. But no, you're right. As in, Barnes looks void of confidence. We've seen when he goes on a run and he gets that confidence back, just like Maddison, he just keeps performing. And he's not had that of recent, which is a bit of shame. But give him time. I think he should be going as well. David's put in, I expect to play Albrighton Barnes on the wing, and then no Chowdhury. I mean, I like Mark Albrighton, but
yeah, totally. And I agree with David there. Because if we hadn't put Dewsbury Hall in there, I was going to say that I think Brendan will go with Albrighton because he likes Albrighton. Again, I would bring Albrighton on later on. Hopefully, when their players are tiring out. If Vardy's not quite on his game or not quite 100%, and maybe when Daka comes on, he's got the pace. The important thing is that if we want Vardy to be successful, we've got to make sure we get the ball to him.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's been the problem in a lot of games, whether it's been Daka. Daka and Vardy aren't ones for really holding the ball up like Inacho is. But if you don't play them in and you don't get the ball forward for them, he's just going to be running. I mean, how often have we heard Vardy's had the least touches on the pitch?
Yeah.
And it's not his fault, but no, hopefully we can get the ball to him. And with Maddison and Tielemans in that position and Lookman and all on the wings, we should be getting the balls into him.
Let's hope so. And again, there's a lot of people here in terms of Lookman, Tielemans, Maddison, Dewsbury Hall that will play around and try and, again, their main job, feed that man and he will create chances for you. Yes. And that's kind of what it is at the moment. So I think that's pretty much
with Vardy as well is, Neil, the thing with Vardy as well is when he's in the team, and you've got to look and say, well, okay, he's not having the touches. What's he doing? He's taking two defenders because it's Vardy. The defenders say, we can't not mark this guy. And quite often he'll just take two defenders out of the equation and let somebody else in.
Yeah, you're right. And also, I think since Vardy's been injured, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall has really thrived. And I'm not saying there's a coincidence, but we've not actually seen two of the perform at the top level together. So that could be a partnership that could develop as well. Because, again, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall's got absolute leaps and bounds recently. But seeing with the likes of Vardy, his back to ball, players coming off him, I think Kiernan Dewsbury Hall could thrive even more than he has been so far. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but the opportunity is there with a player like Vardy.
I mean, when you look at the squad we've got, Fofana signed a new contract before he was even back fully fit. JJ, I think it was, signed a new contract. Piero, let's be honest with you, before he got injured, he was one of the best right backs in Europe, signed a new contract. I'm just
forward
hoping,
and backwards.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that Tielemans may be having a look at this and going, if they're staying, but I doubt it. But it would be nice, it would be nice. But you've got look at that. Those players I've just mentioned, and then Maddison, if we keep hold of him, Dewsbury Hall. The future is bright. The future is blue.
Yes, and I think Kiernan Dewsbury Hall would be one, in my opinion, that would get maybe. I think Maddison might be another one that gets a contract as well in the summer. Again, it'll be a big summer with a lot of people coming in and out, so a few pivotal players coming in and out as well. So we will have to see that as well. But apart from that, the final thing that I've got to mention is one more thing that we've got. A friend of the show as friend of ours, friend of the show, Andy has put up something that I've saved the best till last. There's something that I wanted to bring up, which is this one. Andy's put up again. The Jose mind games have started already. Make sure you go follow Andy Bowes 82. Lovely man. Jose, gonna be kidding, mate. The bus, again, if anybody doesn't know where this is towards the city centre, towards Jubilee Square, near the stadium where this is. I mean, this can't, I believe it's picture, but they haven't come from Italy on the bus, have they?
No. I saw a different picture to that, which was face on to the bus, and it was like down the back alley. And I'm thinking, I don't know how it got down there. I have a feeling, I'm not saying this definitely, but I have a feeling it might just be a Photoshop job.
Maybe. I think this is relatively real considering all the reflections and things, but it's not been doing its rounds as much. However, I think this is the stadium, and also I think this is, again, players won't come down the bus, and also on the Monday these players are internationals, that they play for their countries and stuff. They wouldn't be coming down. And also, where would they train around there? There isn't really a place, and they wouldn't come on a bus. They'll fly over. These are well-played people. They won't come on the bus.
Well, I have just Googled while we were speaking. AS Roma bus.
Yeah.
And there is about 5 or 6 different versions of how it's been painted. That only comes up once. And if
I'm looking at that now as well. Yeah.
Yeah. If I click on that one, it is Facebook.
MSY Facebook. Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, and it's obviously it's a different picture, but I mean that's not the that fox on the thing isn't part of the logo of Roma. Why would they have a fox on there?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean if you look, there's a bus below or on the same page which is black with a sort of the badge over the bus. That looks more likely. Yeah.
Which one are we looking at? That one? This one?
That's what. No, yeah. There's another one as well. It's similar. No, it's not that one. Just go up a little bit. Oh, there we'll go back. Go up, down. I'm pointing at the screen like you can see me pointing. Right, see there. Second row on the right. That one. Yeah. See, to me, that looks more like a proper bus, and you've got the Alitalia thing there. I don't, with the fox's eyes, but I mean, I've ASR. Let's have a look what comes up. ASR Prayer, ASR the insurance company. ASR
I didn't think we'd be doing this, to be honest. I didn't think we'd be Googling AS Roma buses and analysis into this. But
I'm just hoping nothing rude comes up. It's some weird sort of position out the Kama Sutra that we've never heard of. I'm just seeing that logo comes up.
To the King Power. My God, that's something very different.
It's not, it's nothing coming up under ASR that it looks like the other logo. I don't think it's the bus, to be honest with you, because like you say, and are they really, really likely to make that bus drive all the way across here to meet the players if they land? I don't think they would. It would be cost effective.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
It wouldn't be cost effective for them, and clubs aren't that well off now. And as you said, we said before the stream, you're not going to get all these footballers that will sit on the bus for, however many hours it is from Roma to Leicester. They'd go mad. There'd be a strike.
Exactly.
So I think that's more the bus that we've just been looking at.
Yeah, maybe so. Sorry, Chris, again, something was just come up in the background. Chris, thank you so much for coming on. Really, really appreciate it. Again, I've left a link to your channel and everything. You make sure to go check him out. Does more Leicester content than us. So when we're not on, make sure you go and check out Chris. Feel free to plug away.
I have no life. I seem to always be on. And if you can't get to the game tomorrow night, I'm doing a watch along at 7:30.
Make sure to tune into that as well. Yeah. So, again, thank you, Chris, for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, mate. Thank you for having me on.
Anytime. We'll see everybody in the next video. So, goodbye.